Abraham Lincoln, From Log Cabin to the White House, written by B. Silverberg. Instruction. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most important presidents in the U.S. history. He led the country during both the Civil War and the northern and southern states fought to decide its future. He is known as the Great Emancipator because his action freed enslaved people across the South after the war. The United States became one nation again and has remained so ever since. Abraham Lincoln is often pictured as tall, handsome. He is remembered as a common man with regular schooling who was born in a log cabin in Kentucky. Yet, he became a great lawyer, speaking and political leader. His speeches about freedom, justice, and uniting all Americans are carved in stone at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. His belief was simple. I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. The early years. Abraham Lincoln was born to Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln on February 12, 1809, on a small log cabin farm near the Hodgenville, Kentucky. After moving to a nearby Northbridge, Abe and his older sister Sarah went to school for short periods during the winters. When Abe was 7, the family moved to Indiana, hoping for a better life. 2 years after Tom built a new log cabin, Nancy became ill and died, and Sarah mourned the death of their hard-working, loving mother. Soon after, Abe's father married Sarah Bush Johnston, a widow and mother of 3 whom Tom had known in Kentucky. With love and care, she created a warm life for Abe and Sarah. She encouraged Abe as he grew to tall, awkward youth. Friends spoke of his moody quietness, even though Abe told humorous stories. Abe went to school for only a few weeks in the winter, walking 18 miles daily. He educated himself mainly by borrowing books and newspapers from neighbors and travelers. Stories of pioneers such as Daniel Boone and Johnny Appleseed along the books. Abe's read sparkled ideas of a world larger than his backwood. As a teenager, Abe, now standing 6 foot 4 inches, traveled around the Mississippi River on a flatboat. He floated to the busy port of the New Orleans. For the first time, he saw black men, women, and children held in chains to be bought and sold for the white enslaver. At age 22, Abe moved to New Salem, Illinois. He worked with several different jobs, including storekeeper, surveyor, and carpenter. He became well known as a wrestler and skilled orator in New Salem debating society. He ran for the Illinois state legislature, losing in 1832 but winning 2 years later. John Stewart, a lawyer, also his legislator, encouraged Abe to study law. Abe read books, passed the exam in March 1837, and joined Stewart's law practice. He moved to Springfield, where the Illinois legislature met. Laws and politics. Abraham Lincoln's views are based on his strong belief that each person was important, regardless of wealth or privilege. He became a respected member of the Whig Party, which supports strong central government in Washington, D.C. The other leading party, the Democrats, believed that the states should control their own affairs without interference from Washington. At age 30, Lincoln met his future wife, Mary Ann Todd. They married 3 years later. in 1842, and a year after that, their first son, Robert, was born. In 1846, Lincoln won the election for Illinois representative to the U.S. Congress and moved to Washington, D.C. with his family. Lincoln was in Congress, and the northern and southern states became more divided over the issue of slavery. The North depended on the pay laborers in its factories and small farms, and believed in a strong central government. Slavery was outlawed in northern states. The South, whose economy revolved around King cotton grown on the large plantations, used the labor of enslaved people, and who owned as property. Most of them lived under very poor conditions. They had no personal or civil rights. The laws of the southern states allowed and protected slavery. As the United States expanded, Western territories as to become the United States. Were these states entered as free or slave states? Lincoln opposed slavery, but as an Illinois representative in Washington, he believed that this practice was protected by the state law itself. However, he thought the spread of slavery and Western territory. Lincoln returned to Springfield after 2 years in Washington. For the next year, shared a successful law practice with his partner, William Herndon. Lincoln became known for his honesty, legal skill, wit, and fine oratory. America divided. Meanwhile, pro and anti-slavery forces struggled for power. Congress passed the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854, which canceled an earlier law that outlawed slavery in territories. The new law allowed the residents to decide whether they want to be slaves or states. This principle of letting people decide, called popular sovereignty, was introduced by an old political rival of Lincoln's named Stephen Douglas, who was now a U.S. Senator from Illinois. Lincoln decided it was time to speak out against the spread of slavery and to try again for political office. He joined the new Republican Party, which opposed slavery, and was nominated in 1858 as their candidate for senator. His opponent was his old enemy, Senator Douglas. During the campaign, they held the Lincoln-Douglas debate, which was captured the attention of the country. Lincoln, with a great speaking skill, is saying that the slavery was causing a national crisis. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe that this government cannot endure permanent half slave and half free. Lincoln argued that black people were entitled to the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, just like white people. Douglas said the Constitution guaranteed equity only to white people. Each state, he believed, had the right to decide whether it would be slave or free. Lincoln lost the Senate election, but the debate of him made him popular, especially the Republican Party. By 1860, he was the party choice for the president. His campaign rallies and parade, he was called on his aid. The homespun on the people stood for equity and freedom. That November, the North and the Western Territories rejoiced. The South was outraged. Even before Lincoln's inauguration on March 4, 1861, 7,000 states voted to secede from the United States of America. The pro-slavery states had established a government, the Confederate States of America, under the President Jefferson Davis, and prepared for war. The war years, President Lincoln, still hoping to avoid war, said in his inauguration speech, "In your hands, my dissatisfied countrymen, none and not in mine." is the momentous issue of civil war. But the event moved swiftly, and by April 14, Northern troops had surrendered on Fort Sumter. After the South Carolina cannon fired on the fort, both sides, the Union and the Confederacy, moved quickly to call volunteers and collect arms and supplies. President from his home and office in the Union City of Washington, D.C. could look across the river to the Confederate state of Virginia. The South Superior military leadership defeated Union forces in the first battle at Bull Run. Lincoln struggled to find a strong commander to lead the Union troops throughout the war. Under General George B. McClellan, the Union Army had some successes, but by 1862, they were stopped by the Confederate General Robert E. Lee. As the Union forces controlled New Orleans and the Mississippi River, there were few victories. Took over more the military training at the North Coast action. Great number of young soldiers, both sides were killed, wounded, or missing, and the war continued on its second year. For Mary and Abraham Lincoln, personal loss threw them from deep despair. Their third son, Willie, died of fever in February 1862. Mary never successfully recovered from her grief. Abraham shared his great sadness when he met the many family mourning war dead. The Union lost the second battle of the Bull Run. At the Antietam, both of the sides suffered the bloodiest engagement of the war. Powerful Republican senators urged President Lincoln to make the abolition of slavery a war goal. They urged that the fight end successfully. The Union needed to remove issues that caused the war. Lincoln finally convinced that as president, he had authority to order abolition in the South. On January 1, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation went into effect, freeing the henceforth and forever all enslaved people in the Confederacy. Although 300 men had rushed into enlist the Union Army after the Fort Sumter, they were turned away by the mid-1862. However, the pushing need for more volunteers pushed the government to get them. Now, along the newly freed men from the South joined the Union force. By the end of the Civil War, nearly 200,000 black men had served soldiers in the U.S. military. The war ended on April 9, 1865. 4 years after it began, it cost 600,000 lives. The Union survived and slavery was abolished, but only 6 days later, President Abraham Lincoln lay dead from the assassin's bullet. The Confederate symbolizer John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln while he attended a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. As Lincoln's body was carried back to his beloved Illinois on funeral train, monument of the real side silently saluted this great American hero.
Mà đi ở trường sắp ra thì quẹo vào cái tay phải cái bo cái đi thẳng ở đầu đường Lý Thường Kiệt ấy. Nhưng mà nó ở trong đường ngang chứ nó không đường to đâu. Mai mẹ đi mẹ mua cho. Sao con biết đó mua. cơm thì sao? Nay con không đi học không thì ăn. Cơm đã là ăn nó đầy đây đấy. Người thì bảo mỡ máu thì ăn bưởi nó tốt, người thì bảo mỡ máu thì nên ăn bưởi. Hiểu ra không? Ăn gì đó? Cái ca.